strange silence in our age, a silence not of peace, but of distraction. While the world scrolls endlessly, lulled into sleep by flashing screens and polished idols, symbols whisper in the background, woven into songs, stitched into fashion, carved into art, paraded before millions who never pause to question. 6 celebrities may be named, their works dripping with the marks of something darker, but the true story is larger than name. It is the human tendency to worship what glitters, to bow to fame, to ignore the shadows in exchange for entertainment. The shocking truth is not simply that symbols of darkness appear in their work, but that millions embrace them without resistance, because millions have already surrendered their discipline, their discernment, their attention. But here is the greater truth. Symbols only hold power over the mind that refuses to think. No image can enslave a soul that is awake. No celebrity can dictate the destiny of a man or woman who has chosen self-mastery. The danger is not in the symbol itself, but in the apathy of the viewer. And so, if we are to speak of demons and deception, let us first speak of the human heart, for the greatest battle is not in the art they display, but in the attitude you carry. Attitude is the foundation. It is the lens through which you interpret everything. If your attitude is passive, you will absorb without question. If your attitude is cynical, you will mock, but never change. If your attitude is disciplined, discerning, awake, then every image becomes a test you pass. Every temptation becomes an opportunity to grow. Every symbol becomes powerless against you. Attitude is wealth. The rich in spirit are those who refuse to be bent by the noise of culture. The poor in spirit are those who feed endlessly on shadows and call it entertainment. Think about wealth beyond money. To get rich is to expand the capacity of your life. It is to grow in discernment, to cultivate wisdom, to build habits of strength. Celebrities may flash wealth before your eyes, but what is their value if they are enslaved to symbols, chained to industries that dictate their image, bound by contracts that sell their soul? True wealth is freedom, the freedom to think clearly, to act with courage, to live with integrity. When you build this kind of wealth within, no demonic symbol can reach you, and yet you must change. For change is not optional. It is the very breath of growth. If you do not change, you decay. If you do not rise, you sink. If you do not discipline yourself, you will be disciplined by the culture around you. Celebrities with their symbols may preach rebellion, but the true rebellion is not tattooed on skin or flashed on stage. The true rebellion is the soul that chooses discipline in an undisciplined age, that chooses silence over noise, wisdom over distraction, growth over decay. Change yourself daily, and you will see that no darkness outside has power over the light within. Living positively is not ignoring the reality of corruption in art, music, or media. It is facing it head-on and choosing not to bow. It is to see the brokenness of culture and refuse to let it break you. It is to guard your joy not by fleeing the world, but by strengthening your soul. Positivity is courage in disguise. It is not a weak optimism that denies evil, but a fierce determination to create good, to speak truth, to shine light, to live with hope when others surrender to despair. To live positively is to become a living contradiction to the darkness of the age. And each day you must ask, am I becoming a better person, or am I becoming another consumer in the crowd? To be better is not about outward performance. It is about inner transformation. Better is choosing gratitude over complaint, humility over arrogance, honesty over lies, discipline over indulgence. Better is refusing to be lulled into apathy. Better is lifting your life so that when others fall into the shadows, you stand as light. Celebrities may decorate their work with demonic symbols, but you are the living symbol of truth if you choose it. You are the message. You are the sermon. You are the example. So let the shocking truth be this. It is not the symbols that hold the power. It is you. The real question is not whether 6 celebrities flirt with darkness, but whether you will continue to live asleep while they do. Wake up. Think richly. Change daily. Live positively. Become better with every sunrise. For no force of darkness, no symbol, no deception can conquer the man or woman who has decided to master themselves, to live awake, and to stand as light in a world content with shadows. The danger of symbols lies not in their lines and shapes, but in the hearts that revere them without thought. A mark cannot command you unless your mind bows to it. A gesture cannot enslave you unless your spirit agrees. Yet millions allow these things to seep into their subconscious because they have surrendered the discipline of discernment. The true battlefield is not the stage where celebrities parade, but the inner chamber of your thought. There the war is fought. There the victory is won or lost. To awaken is to see clearly, to see that fame is not fortune, that applause is not approval, that talent without truth is ruin disguised as success. 6 celebrities may be called out for flaunting symbols of darkness, but they are not the first and will not be the last. The spirit of deception does not die. It simply finds new faces. And the only defense is not to obsess over their downfall, but to rise in your own discipline, to build the wealth of a mind so trained, a soul so strong, that no deception can take root in you. Attitude is the first fortress. The world will try to bend your attitude toward envy, toward cynicism, toward passivity. But you must anchor it in vision. A man with the right attitude turns every challenge into training, every deception into a lesson, every shadow into contrast for his life. A poor attitude is like an open door through which every lie enters. A disciplined attitude is like a locked gate that only truth can pass. The celebrities you watch may bend under the pressure of culture, but you must not. Stand upright. Guard your spirit. Keep your attitude unshaken. Think richly. Do not let your imagination be hijacked by shallow dreams of fame. Fame is a mirage. It vanishes as quickly as it appears. Rich thinking is not about vanity, but about vision. To think richly is to fill your mind with purpose, to imagine futures worth building, to focus on growth instead of gossip. When your thoughts are rich, you cannot be swayed by the emptiness of celebrity spectacle. When your thoughts are poor, even the smallest lie becomes a chain. So, guard your thoughts as the treasury of your destiny. Change is the sign of life. The stagnant soul is the playground of deception. If you refuse to change, if you cling to comfort, if you recycle the same excuses, then you are no different from those who sell themselves to industries that demand compromise. Change yourself, and you will break free from the gravitational pull of the culture around you. Change yourself, and you will rise while others fall. Do not wait for the world to transform. Be the transformation. Do not wait for celebrities to repent. Repent yourself. Living positively in such a world is not weakness. It is warfare. It is the art of refusing to let bitterness corrode your joy, of refusing to let cynicism suffocate your hope. To live positively is to shine even when surrounded by those who mock the light. It is to forgive when the world demands hatred, to endure when the world expects you to quit, to keep building when the crowd tears down. Positivity is rebellion against despair. It is the anthem of those who refuse to let darkness have the final word. Becoming a better person every day is the long march of victory. No cult, no celebrity, no symbol can stop the soul that grows daily. Growth is invincible because it compounds. One day of discipline seems small. One act of kindness seems unnoticed. One moment of courage seems fleeting. But repeated daily, these acts shape eternity. The deceivers may have millions of followers, but one life of truth outweighs all their noise. The crowd fades, but character endures. So, do not tremble at their symbols. Do not be shocked by their gestures. Do not give your energy to outrage. Instead, turn inward. Ask yourself, am I awake? Am I disciplined? Am I building wealth of the soul? Am I growing daily? The answer to those questions will determine your destiny far more than the headlines ever will. For the truth is this: no matter how many display darkness, light still conquers when it is chosen. And you must choose to be that light. The culture of celebrity worship blinds the masses, for it trains people to trade substance for spectacle. They do not see the soul of the artist. They only see the glitter of the stage. They do not hear the emptiness in the lyrics. They only hear the beat. They do not discern the symbols. They only chase the fame. And in this blindness, they allow themselves to be molded. But you must not be molded by the world. You must mold yourself by truth. You must decide that your identity is not borrowed from the rich and famous, but forged in discipline, faith, and vision. Symbols mean nothing to the man or woman who knows who they are. If you are grounded, no image can shake you. If you are rooted, no trend can move you. If you are awake, no deception can blind you. But if you are lost within yourself, if you are lazy with your mind, if you hunger for approval without principle, then even the smallest lie will lead you astray. The question is not what symbols celebrities display. The question is, what symbols are written on your soul? Greed or gratitude? Fear or courage? Lies or truth? These are the marks that matter. Attitude is everything. The world does not belong to the talented, but to the resilient. Not to those who glitter for a moment, but to those who endure through the storm. The celebrities who sell symbols of darkness rise quickly but fall just as quickly, because their attitude is chained to applause. When applause fades, they collapse. But you must train your attitude to be chained only to truth. Applause will come and go. Fortune will rise and fall. But if your attitude is fixed on discipline, no loss can destroy you, no fame can intoxicate you. Think richly, for your thoughts are the architects of your reality. If you think like the crowd, you will follow the crowd into deception. If you think like the disciplined, you will rise where others fall. Rich thinking does not mean thinking of money alone. It means thinking of legacy, of meaning, of eternity. What are you building that will outlive applause? What are you creating that will endure when the stage lights dim? The celebrity chases attention, but the wise chase purpose. Attention fades like smoke. Purpose endures like stone. Change is your shield against corruption. The man who refuses to change hardens into weakness. The woman who resists growth becomes brittle and breaks. But the soul that changes daily becomes unbreakable. Every day, a little stronger. Every day, a little wiser. Every day, a little freer. This is the slow, steady work of transformation. Celebrities may flaunt rebellion in symbols, but true rebellion is the quiet act of becoming better than you were yesterday. It is the revolution of one soul against its own excuses, one mind against its own fears, one life against its own chains. Living positively in a world obsessed with shadows is not foolishness. It is power. It is easy to curse the darkness, easy to mock the deceived, easy to rage against the famous. But it takes courage to build light, to cultivate joy, to practice hope, to carry peace in the face of chaos. Positivity is not weakness. It is strength controlled. It is the might of a soul that has decided that no matter how loud the lies, they will not drown out the truth within. And each day, the challenge remains the same. Be better. Not in comparison to others, but in comparison to yourself. Do not measure yourself against celebrities who rise and fall with trends. Measure yourself against your own potential. Ask, am I wiser today? Am I kinder today? Am I more disciplined today? Am I freer from lies today? Better is not distant. Better is daily. And 1,000 days of daily improvement will build a life that no deception can collapse. The shocking truth is this: symbols only hold the power you give them. Celebrities can dance, sing, display, and gesture. But if your soul is anchored, their work will wash over you like waves against a rock. But if your soul is weak, their symbols will carve into you like blades. So strengthen your soul, discipline your mind, guard your heart, build your wealth in what cannot be stolen. Then, when the world shouts with false glory, you will stand in quiet strength, and when millions bow, you will remain upright. The truth is this: culture does not shape you without your permission. Symbols do not enslave you unless you surrender. A celebrity can raise their hand in a gesture of rebellion. They can tattoo their skin with marks of darkness. They can sing words that glorify emptiness, but none of it has power until you absorb it, until you allow it to enter your mind unguarded, until you fail to question and fail to resist. The real battleground is not the stage. It is not the screen. It is the silent chamber of your thought life. Win there, and you win everywhere. Lose there, and no amount of outrage will save you. Wealth of spirit is the antidote. Think of wealth not as a number in a bank account, but as a fortress of inner riches, clarity of mind, strength of will, purity of purpose, abundance of gratitude. The rich man without self-mastery is poor in disguise. The poor man with discipline is already rich. When you cultivate these riches, the world cannot deceive you, for your identity no longer depends on its applause. You will see clearly. The fame of others is fleeting. The symbols they display are smoke. The temptations they parade are shallow. And you will rise above, not with arrogance, but with unshakable vision. Attitude determines altitude. An undisciplined attitude makes even the strongest fall, while a resilient attitude raises even the weakest to greatness. Look at those who flaunt demonic signs in their work. Their outward confidence hides inner fragility. They are enslaved not to demons carved in symbols, but to the approval of men. They live chained to fame, to applause, to markets. But you must not be chained. Your attitude must be rooted in truth. Whether applauded or ignored, whether praised or mocked, you must stand. For applause is a wave, but truth is a rock. And so you must change. Change is not an option. It is the command of life itself. To refuse to change is to rot. To resist growth is to die before your death. Celebrities cling to images because they fear change. They repeat the same symbols because they are trapped in cycles of control. But you are free. Every sunrise is permission to become new. Every choice is a chisel sculpting you into a greater form. Change is your rebellion against stagnation. Change is your revolution against lies. Change is your wealth. For no thief can steal your progress. No deceiver can undo your discipline. Positivity, then, is not weakness. It is armor. It is the shield you raise when cynicism attacks. It is the fire you tend when despair surrounds. Positivity does not mean naively smiling at corruption. It means refusing to let corruption poison your heart. It means saying, yes, the world is broken, but I will not break with it. Yes, others embrace shadows, but I will walk in light. Yes, deception is everywhere, but I will live as truth. This is positivity, the courage to remain unshaken, to remain hopeful, to remain strong. And what does it mean to be better every day? It means rejecting complacency. It means refusing to say, I am enough, when you know you can grow. It means taking the smallest steps with the greatest faith. Better is built in secret. Waking earlier, thinking clearer, speaking kinder, working harder, loving deeper. Do not despise the small disciplines, for they are bricks in the foundation of greatness. The celebrity flaunts their symbols before millions, but you build your integrity before God and your own conscience. And integrity outlasts fame. So I tell you, do not fear symbols, do not envy fame, do not bow to deception, build yourself, strengthen your mind, discipline your soul, grow daily, think richly, live positively. For the true shocking truth is not that 6 celebrities flirt with darkness, but that millions surrender their own light in silence. Do not join them. Rise instead. Be the rare one who refuses to sleep, who refuses to be bought, who refuses to bow. For in the end, the world does not belong to the famous. It belongs to the disciplined, the courageous, the awakened, and if you choose, it can belong to you. The world loves spectacle more than truth, and that is why millions fall asleep under the glow of false stars. They see wealth glittering and mistake it for wisdom. They see rebellion staged in symbols and mistake it for strength. They see fame shouted across headlines and mistake it for meaning. But when the lights go out, when the curtain falls, when the crowd disperses, what remains? Emptiness. For no amount of applause can fill the void left by a neglected soul. And this is the tragedy of those who bow to culture. They borrow their identity from people who have lost their own. But you must not borrow. You must build. Build your identity not on the sand of trends, but on the rock of principle. Build your confidence not on the echo of applause, but on the voice of conscience. Build your life not on the shifting winds of celebrity spectacle, but on the steady discipline of daily choices. Fame may dazzle, but character endures. Symbols may flash, but integrity shines. Popularity may come and go, but truth stands forever. Anchor yourself there, and no deception can sweep you away. Wealth begins within. The richest mind is the one uncluttered by lies. The richest heart is the one filled with gratitude. The richest soul is the one disciplined enough to choose truth over ease. You may look at celebrities flaunting their riches and feel small, but remember, a millionaire enslaved by fear is poorer than a farmer at peace with himself. A singer adored by millions but tormented by emptiness is poorer than a mother raising her children in faith and discipline. True wealth cannot be counted in coins. True wealth is measured in freedom. Change is the work of freedom. To remain the same is to remain enslaved. The one who refuses to change is the easiest to control because their weakness is predictable. The deceiver does not fear the man who never grows. He fears the man who grows daily. For daily growth is revolution. Each day you improve, you escape another chain. Each day you discipline yourself, you resist another lie. Each day you grow. You become less dependent on the world's illusions and more rooted in eternal truth. Change is not a burden. It is your emancipation. To live positively in a culture of deception is not to close your eyes, but to open them wide and still choose courage. It is to see the corruption and say, it will not define me. It is to see the emptiness of fame and say, I will not envy it. It is to see the weakness of symbols and say, I will not bow. Positivity is not denial. It is defiance. It is to keep walking forward with hope when the world insists on despair. It is to keep building when the world prefers destruction. It is to keep shining when the world embraces shadow. And to be a better person every day is the great rebellion against an age that demands conformity. Every day the world whispers, "Be like the crowd, think like the herd, bow like the rest." But to be better is to resist, to sharpen your mind when others grow dull, to discipline your body when others grow lazy, to guard your words when others speak carelessly, to love when others hate, to build when others waste, to live awake when others sleep. The celebrity may capture attention for a season, but the man or woman who improves daily will command respect for a lifetime. Do not let outrage at their symbols distract you from your own transformation. The true enemy is not 6 celebrities with gestures on a stage. The true enemy is the part of you that still believes you are powerless, the part of you that delays discipline, the part of you that hungers for ease more than growth. That enemy must die daily, and when it does, you will discover a strength greater than anything fame can offer. You will discover that the most shocking truth is this: no deception can hold the soul that chooses to rise. What is hidden in symbols is never greater than what is hidden in your own choices. A gesture on a stage may provoke, but the gesture of your daily habits decides your destiny. What you do in silence, what you repeat when no one is watching, what you feed your mind and soul with in the hours unseen, these are the true symbols, the markings of your life. 6 celebrities may inscribe their bodies or their stages with signs of darkness, but the question is this: what inscriptions are being carved into your character each day? Laziness is a symbol. Gratitude is a symbol. Fear is a symbol. Courage is a symbol. Which ones define you? Wealth is not about collecting symbols of status. It is about building the strength of substance. The wealthiest man is not the one with the most symbols of power, but the one with the least chains of weakness. True richness is found in a disciplined spirit, a vision that stretches beyond the present moment, and a heart trained to stand when others bow. The celebrity parades their wealth in gold and glamour, but you must parade your wealth in self-mastery, in honesty, in the daily conquest of yourself. And here is the great paradox. Those who think they are free often live as slaves, while those who discipline themselves daily walk in true freedom. Celebrities boast of rebellion while chained to the expectations of an industry. They sing of independence while their every choice is dictated by contracts, managers, and markets. But you, in your obscurity, in your daily discipline, in your quiet growth, you can walk freer than the most famous face in the world. For freedom is not measured in applause, but in the ability to say no to lies and yes to truth. Change yourself daily, for every day is a rebirth. You cannot fight deception with the same mind that once bowed to it. You must renew yourself like a sword hammered again and again until it is unbreakable. Your character must be forged in the fire of repetition. Yesterday's growth is not enough for today. Today requires more clarity, more courage, more strength. A river that stops flowing becomes stagnant. A soul that stops changing becomes corrupt. Keep moving, keep rising, keep changing, for this is the essence of life. Living positively is not about ignoring the darkness, but about refusing to surrender to it. You do not fight lies with despair. You fight them with light. You do not conquer corruption with cynicism. You conquer it with conviction. Positivity is not naive optimism. It is disciplined defiance. It is the act of standing upright in a world that kneels to falsehood. It is the act of building when destruction seems easier. It is the act of hoping when hopelessness is fashionable. Positivity is the victory of the soul that will not be broken. To be better every day is the highest form of rebellion in a culture that celebrates decay. Every improvement you make, however small, is a strike against deception. Every step forward is a blow against stagnation. Every act of discipline is a weapon against corruption. The celebrities may flaunt symbols of darkness before millions, but your greatest victory is not to rage against them. It is to live in such a way that your life itself becomes a symbol of light, a living contradiction to the culture of lies. So the shocking truth is revealed. The power was never in their symbols. It was always in your choices. They may perform before crowds of millions, but you decide whether their message finds a home in your heart. They may paint their art with shadows, but you decide whether you carry shadows or light within. They may rise and fall on the waves of fame, but you decide whether you build your house upon the rock of truth or the sand of lies. And if you choose truth, if you choose discipline, if you choose growth, then you will stand unshaken, unbroken, unstoppable.